Good evening, Drew.
I apologize for being late because I am extremely excited for tonight's podcast. Oh, buddy. You know, it's funny. We'll get to I'm going to basically shut up for like the last 40 minutes of the show, and you're going to walk me through this entire journey.
Oh my god, Drew.
You did very well. You did very well. But it's funny because you texted me and we haven't been super great about sticking to our Thursday recording for a variety of reasons for the past few weeks. Holidays, illness, scheduling, whatever.
And this Thursday I got invited to see a Blue Jack some security company was hosting, had a suite and was inviting people to see the Blue Jackets game. So I went. Blue Jackets lost, which was perfect. Tank, baby, tank. So that's why we couldn't record on Thursday. So that was my bad.
No, it's fine. I'm not, it was fine for me because I ended up playing Destiny with friends. But anyway, but what I bring that up only because you said, hey, can we record this weekend or Friday or whatever? And I said, yeah, buddy, whatever you need. And your reply to me was, I bought so much stuff. At first I thought that's dedication to the craft because now he's not gonna, he's waiting to record. Oh my God. If this fly flies past my face one more time, I've killed like 3 of these motherfuckers today. I don't know where they're coming from. Obviously I stink. But anyway, you texted me that you bought so much stuff and I'm like, man, this boy is really going for it with the podcast because we love to talk about stuff. Well, I am like speechless with the variety of, I haven't clicked on any of these links. Right. I haven't really even looked at the things you've put in the show notes, but I want to hear this whole thing top to bottom, and we're going to get there in a minute after I talk about my stupid little thing. Okay, but my God, dude. Okay. So it's 2023 and new year, new me. Ooh. I decided to mix up my workflow a little bit, and I have decided that I am going to try the trackpad life.
So you have, do you have a Magic trackpad, the Apple?
I bought a Magic trackpad. I have now used it.
Okay. Are you using it exclusively or are you using it in addition to?
So I would love to tell you that I'm using it exclusively because I wanted to jump in with both feet, but there has been one instance where I have not been able to use the trackpad sufficiently. And I don't know if this is just because this particular thing that I was working on was not designed for this, or maybe I don't have the skills yet. Okay. So anyway, I was in Micro Center and I had a couple gift cards burning a hole in my pocket, and I went over to the Apple section and I bought something that was long overdue, and I guess I should have put it in here. The new Apple TV remote.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
My
Apple TV came with the old, really stupid Siri remote that only had a touchpad. Yeah. That was big feels bad. I did not like that thing. And through the course of the year, I don't know, 3 years that I've had it, I have knocked the remote off of my couch and onto my floor so many times that it just was like, I'm not going to work anymore. So I went to I was using my phone to control it for a while, which is fine because I'm hardly ever without my phone. But I was in Micro Center and I bought the TV remote. And when I was in that section, I'm like, I wonder if they have any Magic trackpads. And sure enough, they did. So I bought a matching black Magic trackpad for my Magic keyboard that is also black. Okay. And it's good. I mean, I have had to use touchpads and trackpads on numerous devices over the years. So like the gestures and things are not foreign to me. But what I love about the Magic family of products that Apple makes is, especially with like the Magic Mouse, I can swipe left or right on that to switch between spaces. And there's other gestures I can use to sort of like get me to mission control and this other stuff. And all the same gestures that work on the mouse work on this. And it was just a very, very easy transition to that. The one thing that I have not been able to do is I had to put together some new Visio diagrams.
Okay.
And that
Ooh.
level of precision
Ooh, I can imagine
for
that was
all the little
rough.
arrows, especially like I'm already one layer deep in sort of input fiddliness because I'm like in a Windows VM to use Visio. I mean, they have Visio Web, but meh. Like
Yeah,
I want
yeah,
Visio Desktop,
yeah.
right? So I had to go back to the mouse for that. And I don't plan on lugging the Magic trackpad everywhere I go, so I now have 2 Magic mice and a Magic trackpad because I bought a new Magic mouse not too long ago for my new work computer, and my old Magic mouse is with my deprecated MacBook Pro. And then the Magic trackpad sort of lives with the new one too. I mean, it's good. I would say that the other thing that I haven't gotten very good at with it is if I need to drag a window from one screen to another,
Oh,
my
yeah.
hands aren't big enough to sort of like in one gesture move the whole window across my canvas.
Got it. Yeah.
So I have to like double tap, I have to double bag that one. But it's a surprisingly easy transition. I was worried about having to select things with text, but I have become a master of sort of like the double tap to select words or
Yeah.
lines or stuff like that. So I'm learning a whole bunch of like new gestures and everything, and it's going pretty well. I don't have any plans of going back, and like I said, outside of the Visio issue, um, it's been fine. Now I can't remember. Did you say you also have a Magic Trackpad?
I do have a Magic trackpad, and about every 6 months, I'll hear someone on a podcast talk about like, "Hey, yeah, like I use a Magic trackpad, or I use a mouse and a Magic trackpad." I'm like, "That could be me," and I get it out and I use it, and I'm like, "Oh, I hate this," and I put it away. Like, I just I've tried it like on the left of the keyboard for gestures. I've tried it as a replacement to my mouse. I can't do it. I can't do it. When I'm sitting at my desk, my brain wants a mouse, and that's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have also tried various pointer input devices over the years. I've tried trackballs. That definitely was not for me.
Yeah, I've tried that too. Yeah.
I have tried other, touch interfaces. I was at my very first job. They were exclusively an IBM before they were Lenovo.
Mm.
Old ThinkPads with the nub. Oh God, I still believe that was the best laptop enabled pointing device that I think we've ever had.
You think?
I think so. I think it was infinitely better than any touchpad because the IBMs of the day, like the ThinkPads and the ThinkBooks of the day, they had the touchpad with the 2 buttons,
Mm-hmm.
And then they had the nub. And I always felt the nub was superior because I don't know, I just was never great at getting the precision, but the way that the nub sort of responded to pressure, title, sure their nub responds to pressure. Well, because the tracking speed was a direct result of how much pressure you sort of push on that thing.
Okay.
And like the texture, whatever that texture, that plastic,
Yeah.
that rubber, whatever that was just
it was grippy. Yeah.
It was extremely grippy, and that means something different to the youth, by the way.
Really?
Don't say grippy.
No,
I found
no,
if TikTok has taught me anything, it's that grippy is not something we should be saying.
Okay, now I gotta search. I gotta Google this grip.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Let's go. Slang. Okay. Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
All right, there you go. Okay, yeah, different meaning.
Yeah,
okay.
different than what? Yeah. Urban Dictionary uses it in a sentence. Jennifer has a grippy. So,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, that's even different than what I'm seeing. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
there's multiple. Okay. Yeah. Now, see, the Google result for slang was someone like basically someone who is frugal with money.
No.
Yeah, but no.
That is not what people are saying these days with that word.
Yeah.
Now, I am strictly using it in the parlance of there were pointing devices that did a good job of being anti-slip.
Surface.
Let's just put it that way.
Anti-slip surfaces. Yeah.
Anti-slip surfaces. Yes, not grippy. Anti-slip surfaces. We all learned something there.
I did.
Yeah, but it's been decent. Like I don't have any plans of going back to it. I wasn't sure how big it was. And like when the guy got the box out of the case, I'm like, this does not look very big. I assumed it was going to be, I mean, not as big as a mouse pad, but something of sufficient size.
I think it's about the same size as like the trackpad on a laptop. Oh, an Apple laptop. Yeah.
No, bigger, 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 bigger.
Yeah, I guess it is a little bigger.
Yeah. And it's got like a little bit of an angle to it, which is nice. Yeah, I mean it's good. And I love how easy Apple makes it just to connect stuff. Like you don't need to fiddle with Bluetooth. Like you plug it in once and they're like, "You want to connect this?" Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, we're done. I don't have to do any sort of like ridiculous pairing or anything. But solid recommendation for me. Didn't you buy a new mouse recently? Or
Uh,
is that somebody else?
I'm still rocking my MX Master. What is this? It's a 3S. It's an MX Master 3S.
Someone I don't maybe it wasn't you, but somebody I know was telling me about a new mouse that they just got. Let me see. I don't know if I'll be able to find the exact one that they had, but they went to one of these.
Okay.
Um, God, Logitech makes so many mice.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, one of these. Have you ever used? And I feel like the answer is yes. I feel like you've used something
Oh,
similar
I've
to
had
this.
this mouse. I have this mouse somewhere. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
the whole like shark fin thing.
yeah. It did not.
What happened?
I,
Didn't take?
it didn't take. It didn't
Okay.
take. I, as I have owned, I literally think every iteration of Logitech's MX Master from like the 1, 2, 3, 3. Like I bought them all. I love them. They fit my hand perfectly. They work exactly how I want. It's for me, it's the perfect mouse. And I keep like thinking, I get like same thing with the goddamn trackpad. Every once in a while, I'll get a bug up my butt. Like I need to change how I use a mouse. And I try something, and then I go back to the MX Master because it's the best. I should just give up and just realize that.
I still, yeah, it still breaks my heart a little bit that you never really fell in love with the Magic Mouse the way I have.
That is probably my least favorite mouse. It is just too small for me. I
Yeah.
can't use it. Can't use it.
I mean, I do have tiny little baby hands, but yeah, I was in anyway. I mean, as someone who has basically bought every single thing that Micro Center sells, like I had these, I had somebody had got me gift cards for Christmas, and it was just like one of these trackpads has sort of been on my quote unquote list for a while, and I was very close to buying a new audio interface to plug my mic into. Because
Mm.
they make different ones for like podcasting and ones that have like little knobs and LED displays and
Yeah.
stuff nerds like, right? I mean, like moths are drawn to lights. I am drawn to LED and LCD displays,
Mhm.
right? So I was in there going to buy one of those, but I'm like, I'm really not going to get the most use out of this if I had multiple microphones and we were doing like a multi-microphone podcast or something, because that's really what those things are made for. But some of them have like pads that I could put little sound effects in, because that might be fun to spice up this podcast. But no,
I'd love that. That'd be great.
yeah, I didn't do that. And then, like I said, I went over there to buy that remote because that was a need, and I saw one of the trackpads out. I'm like, oh yeah, I've been wanting one of those. I'm gonna do that, and it was like $99, I think.
Hmm.
And they had the new Apple TVs as well. I can't remember what the difference was between. Oh, you know what it was? They had the newest Apple TVs and they had the previous generation Apple TVs. And the newer, like the old generations were like were like $30 off or something. So it was like $100 for a 4K.
Hmm.
Not with a lot of memory, because I mean, but I don't download anything online, so I don't
Yeah,
care.
you don't need that. Yeah.
I think the only difference that I could see is that the new ones, if you only get like the 64 gig or whatever the lower memory,
They don't have Ethernet anymore.
they don't have Ethernet.
Mhm.
Now that's not a problem for me this very moment, because I'm not using it with Ethernet, but there have been times where I have tried to watch movies from my Plex wirelessly,
Mhm.
and it's like, yeah, we can't keep up with the bit rate, and I have to go like select a lower quality because I guess there's not enough beams in the air to handle that, even with my fancy mesh network.
Hmm.
So maybe I'll fish a wire up there. But yeah, that was the only difference that I could see between the two. Okay, enough about my crap. So I'm gonna tee you up, and then I just want you to go. I want you to go until we get through this, and I want every detail. I want every thought behind what you did here. So, the last episode you talked about you were considering buying a turntable.
Yes, that is correct.
And that has blossomed from Drew, I think I'm gonna buy a turntable, to literally a page in show notes of all the things that you bought. So
yeah, and I'm probably not done.
Go.
Okay.
Go.
So I bought a turntable, Drew.
Okay.
So
let's start
there. So the day after we recorded, I'm sitting in the morning, and I'm doing some more research because that's what I do, and I realized that one of the turntables I was looking at was what the Audio-Technica AT-LP120X USB. It's a great thing. It's a not a entry-level turn. It's like right above an entry-level turntable. $400 is what it costs. And I realized that the Best Buy here in Grove City actually had a few of them in stock. I was like, well, I could just push a button and have a turntable by the end of the day. So that's what I did. I bought the turntable. I went to a few places just to pick up a handful of records. Not that I expect a lot of places around, in the Columbus area to cater to my style of music, but I found some stuff that I was happy with. Just to get home and give it a try.
Okay, stop. What did you buy? And where did you buy them?
So,
because there aren't like record stores anymore.
No, well, there are. But I went to Barnes and Noble. There you go.
Okay.
There are some record stores, some music stores in Columbus. One of them actually looks like it may have some metal records. I think that's Spoonful Records. But there's like Magnolia Thunder Pussy, Spoonful Records, like Used Kids Records. There's places in Columbus to go. I did not go there because I didn't feel like dealing with downtown at the time. But I think at some point I might maybe take like a day off and go down and just check out those stores and see if there's anything that I want there. But yeah, I just wanted to get some records. I knew I would order stuff that I actually would want to listen to, and I did that. Like I've also bought records. I bought records. I got records today. I've got records coming. I've got okay. So I probably should really start. Okay, yeah, hold on. I'm gonna move this. I'm gonna move this up because I want to talk about this first because I think this is the most important thing. So there's a lot of gear associated with turntables, Drew. A lot of gear. So the first thing you really need, and I recommend, because I did not have this particular thing until like a couple days after I bought the turntable, you really need a record cleaning kit of some sort. You at least really need an anti-static brush, because let me tell you, fuck static. Fuck it all. Fuck it so much, Drew. I hate it. I have never hated static electricity more than I hate now, having a turntable for about a week now. Well, it's awful. It's awful.
Is it the act of taking the records out of the sleeve, or what generates so much static?
So vinyl itself is just prone to static. It just is. The spinning of a turntable can generate static. The paper sleeve around it can generate static. It's just like static is just freaking everywhere around vinyl records. The problem with static is one, it can cause crackles. As the needle kind of gets pushed away a little bit because of electricity. It also can cause the record to stick to the slip mat, the actual what it sits on the turntable. It also attracts dust, which can cause popping. So you need you need a way to deal with vinyl, with static and vinyl, and keep it clean. The most inexpensive way of doing that is getting a carbon fiber brush. You kind of just lightly tickle the You turn the turntable on, you tickle the vinyl with the turntable brush. It helps get some dust off. It helps reduce static. That may not be enough for me. I seem to, I don't know, maybe my air is dry. Maybe I need a humidifier or something. The internet, Drew. People are like, well, you really should have at least 35% humidity in any room that you store vinyl in.
Well, to be fair, it's the middle of winter. Air's a little drier. It happens.
Yeah. There's also this. I haven't. Hold on. Let me find.
While you look at that, I'm looking at the record cleaner kit, and I'm pretty sure they just have like a little mascara bottle added to the picture here.
It comes with the record kit I bought the record cleaning kit I bought was from Hudson. It has the carbon fiber brush. It has a like soft vinyl brush. It basically has like oven mitts for vinyl. Yeah, so like little microfiber cloth. So you can grab your vinyl easier. It's got a record cleaner spray and a little microfiber cloth that comes with it. One thing is nice. There's this little, you see like the little black piece of rubber. What you can,
the label protector.
You put that on the label, so when you spray it, you accidentally get spray on your label. It's a very nice.
Boy, what will they think of next? The kit to beat. That's very favorably reviewed.
Yeah, I found Hudson is generally like they make good stuff and they don't overcharge for it. Well, I'm sure they do, but it's got the little mascara brush is anti-static brush for your stylus, and there's also like the little gray thing in the upper right hand corner. Is basically a little disc of sticky stuff that you can like dip the tip of the stylus in to help
dip the tip.
There's also, hold on, let's see. Let me find this thing, Drew. Okay. This is something, I'm going to put this link in here. I have not bought one of these, but I am strongly considering it. Anti-static gun. Yeah, put that right in there. Boom.
Oh, anti-static gun.
Mm-hmm. This thing
is this the thing you point at the static and demand their jewelry? What is this?
Yeah. So I don't know how it works, but I've watched YouTube videos and read reviews, and apparently the thing is freaking magic. It's the Milty Zero Stat 3 anti-static gun blue. Apparently this thing is huge in like chemistry labs, any place where like static electricity can mess up an experiment and stuff. Apparently, I don't understand this at all, but apparently it shoots. It's this little blue plastic gun. It's got a trigger and it's got a gunny part, and apparently it shoots ions, which sounds like
shut the fuck up. No, yeah. I'm not. Mm-hmm. First of all, the second image of this that's not how you hold a gun.
No, it's not. No. Yeah. So,
is there? Hold on. So, it's $109.
Yeah.
And you get 10, 0, or maybe that was 1,000. Maybe it's supposed to be 1,000 uses during the lifetime of the unit.
Yeah.
They have a misplaced comma in the about. Model number. Someone did a bad copy paste from Excel.
Yeah.
Remove the static charge. Milty. You can get a 4-pack if you apparently if you want to corner the market on ions, you can get a 4-pack.
Yeah,
I'm calling bullshit on this, buddy.
Dude, I have watched YouTube videos. It works, like literally, like, and you'll see stuff. People like, oh yeah, I'm a chemist. We use these all the fucking time. Like, apparently it works. It's not bullshit. It works. Look at.
I don't know. I feel like Big Static is after everybody.
I mean, look at the reviews, man. Like everyone's like, there's no way this thing works, but it works. So
it is a plastic toy gun.
Yep.
As you slowly, does anyone read directions, pull the trigger back and then slowly let it back out a few times while moving around the record and stylus. And you're going to remind yourself that you, A, look like a moron, B, spent $80, that's not what you spent, on a toy gun that is using the same basic plastic molds and technology since the 70s. It works, not a gimmick. I was skeptical. It works. Arrived with a dented box. Hello, static-free records. It's not voodoo, but it do the job. Works. It works. Expensive, but does the job, and there's no real alternative. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't have one of those yet, but I'm strongly considering ordering one. Okay. So and, and really all you need is, you need a turntable, you need, headphones or speakers or whatever, and records, and you're ready to go. But you can dive in, you can jump in, Drew. You can jump in so hard.
Well, just like with any hobby.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go through some of the things that I have purchased. Actually,
I'm very curious about this next one. But
so one of the things I bought. So okay, I'm gonna walk you down this journey with me, Drew. Okay, so
I'm that's what I'm here for.
A lot of modern vinyl is, like someone will come out with an album, they'll come out with like a limited edition that's like purple and with pink splatter, or it's like red translucent, right? Like really kinds of different, like a different looking vinyl. And a lot of that, I believe, is what they call like 180 gram vinyl, which is typically heavier than a normal, like, classic black record, right? They're thicker, they're heavier, but apparently they are they can be prone to warping. It's one of the things, because they're heavier, they can get warped in transit, or just over time they warp. So one of the things that a lot of high-end audiophiles, or like turntable heads, I don't know what we call it, I don't know that they call themselves, they recommend is a disc stabilizer. And what this is, Drew, it's a weight.
Yeah, it looks like it's just a weight.
It's a big weight, and you put it essentially over top of the record label, and it helps keep the record, pushes the record down. So even like if it is warped, it helps keep things stable. So you don't introduce any warps, which can cause your needle to skip, and you don't want your needle, like you don't want the stylus on the end of your tone arm to be damaged, or because it's made out of diamonds, Drew.
Okay.
But so I bought one of these. I really haven't noticed an issue yet. I've tried it with and without. I don't know, Drew. Some people say like everything, Drew. People are like, yeah, it definitely changes to how the album sounds. I don't think it does. It doesn't. I don't think it does. I have noticed that when I use it, I generate more static on my records.
Oh no.
So I'm just wondering, like, I don't know. It's like you said, it's winter. My house is kind of dry. So I'm just wondering, like, if like the weather warms up, if static won't be necessarily much of a problem. And that merely means that I probably should run a humidifier in here. But we'll see. So I bought a disc stabilizer. The verdict is still out.
Okay.
I also bought a turntable level. This was an absolute waste of money. It was a waste of money. 100% waste of money.
Well, wait. What's the waste of money?
The next thing on the list is a turntable level.
Turntable level.
It's exactly what you think it is, Drew.
Okay.
It's a level, like making things level, but it's round, and it has it's a little piece of aluminum, and it's got the little bubble in there and a red circle, so things are level. My turntable was level. I didn't have to do anything. Even when I was going
to say, I mean, how unlevel? I mean, because this thing it looks like it's a small little metal hockey puck.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a level.
Yeah, it's a level.
Right?
Yeah,
it's an eye level, and it has a red circle in the middle with the water bubble, like every other level you've ever seen. Yep. Now, I imagine you're not playing your records on the side of a mountain, right?
No, but this recommends like, hey, keep your turntable flat, because again, if it's the record isn't spinning exactly flat, again, it could make your stylus jump or cause, crackling and stuff. So I'm like,
but but let's say you had put the, so does this stay on your turntable 100% of the time?
No.
So you just basically set it there to make sure that what you have is level. So I guess my question is this: you make sure it's level. And let's say it wasn't. Like, let's say it was off by a little bit. Are the feet adjustable on your record player?
They are.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, they are. So you can adjust each of the four corners to make it exactly level, and which I think is a nice little touch. But yeah.
So you might be walking by your record player thinking, I wonder if my record player is still level, and you could bust this out.
I could.
Okay. $35, but okay,
yeah,
I'll allow it.
It was a little too much. And while I was buying things, I'm just the turntable I have. Okay, so sound, right? So the needle is spinning on the vinyl, right? And it's getting grooves and it's shaking and it's making noise. Okay. But vinyl is imperfect, and like it the sound isn't exactly encoded perfectly on the vinyl. So like you need a way, and it's also very, very, very quiet. So you need essentially what's called a phono amp, right? And that's a piece of technology that can turn the vibrations of the stylus and the turntable into sound. Mm-hmm. It's about 50-50 about whether turntables include phono amps in them at all. The ones that have like USB or like Bluetooth, like this one, they typically do, because they need to have an amp internally in order to be able to send the sound over the USB or the Bluetooth, right? But it's generally like everyone just says like, yeah, like they're fine. The ones built in are fine, but like they're literally the cheapest phono amps you can buy. So when I was ordering stuff on the Audio Technica website, they happen to sell a what they call a phono equalizer, which essentially is a phono amp. So you turn off the phono amp on the turntable and plug it into this. And I will say that this did improve the sound of the music coming out of my turntable significantly. Like I noticed a difference. A lot of times with like a lot of the stuff, like I don't notice a difference, but this one I most certainly did.
So how does it work?
So literally the turntable, I don't know, it's magic. Like the turntable has RCA out and a ground wire, because of the mechanics. I read an article about this. Basically, you have to ground the turntable and the amp together, or you get like a 60 hertz hum. So like the record player comes with a RCA cable that has a ground wire attached to it. So you plug that in, plug it into the phono amp, and then that has RCA out, and that goes into your amp or your DAC or whatever you want, right? So how it actually works, I don't know, voodoo. You got to plug it in and push a button. See, it's a high quality FET inputs ensure a low noise signal when incorporated with a negative feedback type phono equalizer circuit, Drew. Come on. But I definitely did notice an improvement in that. So that was $200 well spent. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, Drew. The next thing I want to talk to you about is cartridges. Okay, so the cartridges is the little. Okay, so obviously you have the turntable, the platter, right? And then there's the tone arm. Okay, on the end of the tone arm is something called the head shell. The head shell contains a cartridge, and the cartridge hosts the stylus. Okay, the stylus is what actually goes on your record. Mm-hmm. There are there are so many different types of cartridges and well, more importantly, styluses. And I'm not even going to get into magnetic movement over the other one. I'm just going to talk about the ones that work with my turntable. Okay, so the cartridge that came with my turntable is fine. It's fine. But it's not what people recommend. Okay, so first of all, there are two broad categories of styluses: bonded and nude. Okay, so a bonded stylus is basically a piece of metal with a small diamond tip glued to the end. Okay, generally speaking, the part that touches the vinyl is diamond. I guess it's the best for picking up the vibrations, or that's just what it works like. So a bonded is steel with diamond on the end. It's generally kind of considered as kind of not ideal, right? I don't know why people are like, yeah, like the first thing you really need to do is get rid of your bonded stylus. It's got to go.
Okay.
So a nude stylus is a diamond all the way down. It's just one piece of diamond. Uh, and then on the end, uh, the stylus can be of different shapes. The most inexpensive one here. Well, here. Let me drop this link in the notes. One of these is too many tabs open. Okay, I'm going to put this right before that link there. Okay. So this is the link I just put in is to all of Audio-Technica's ATVM95 compatible cartridges. And if you scroll down a little bit on that page, you can basically see like a block of like 6 different cartridges, right? And they're all different colors: blue, green, white, orange, red, and brown.
Interchangeable style live, but that's not part of the cartridge, right?
Yes.
Or is that the cartridge?
That's the cartridge. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, I was looking at the first link, and I thought it was like the whole head.
Okay, so you can buy them with the whole head if you want. If you don't want to deal with taking it off, right? It's only like $20 more, which is what I ended up actually doing. But you can buy just the individual like stylus and put them on there. Like yeah. I just bought a whole new head shell, which is the whole thing, because it's you unloosen a thing, you take it off, put it in.
Oh no! Oh no! There's different shapes.
There's different shapes, Drew. Okay, so the cheap.
Why is this important?
Okay.
I am 100%.
Okay, so the cheapest ones, like if you bought like a cheap ass record player from like Target, right? It's going to have a conical bonded stylus, which is basically just a round little like sphere on the end. Conical. All right. The next step up from that is elliptical. Which is basically it's a cone. It's a cone. Generally speaking, they say that elliptical is better than conical, but so at a minimum, what people recommend is to get a nude elliptical stylus at a minimum. Okay, that's what people say. And so the one that came with the record player is the green one, which is an elliptical bonded. So a lot of people say, hey, at a minimum, get the orange one, which is an elliptical nude. But you know me, Drew. I can't just I can't leave well enough alone. And they sell 2 other shapes. They sell a microlinear and a shibata. Okay. And these are weird, like non-symmetrical shapes. Like they kind of look like polyhedral rice on the end of these styluses.
Okay.
I went with what is called the microlinear. And so on a vinyl record, it is more difficult to the grooves on the inside are more difficult to create than the grooves on the outside. So generally speaking, if you have a cheap stylus, it is harder for them to basically to read the music on the inside of an album, so it won't sound as good. And like if you do pay attention, especially like on the high ends, as you get towards at least with my elliptical bonded one, things started seeming a little bit more flat towards the inside of the record. The microlinear stylus is apparently closer to the shape of the tool they use to put the grooves in the record in the first place, and therefore improves the sound quality, especially on the inner grooves. And it does. I have to say, it does. It definitely does sound better. But it means not cheap. The microlinear stylus is $170. I ended up spending an extra $30 to put it on the head shell, so I wouldn't have to mount it myself. So essentially half the cost of my turntable I spent replacing the stylus on my record. And I'm pretty happy with it, actually. It's nice. It's nice. It's very nice. Sounds really good, Drew. The other size, the shibata, I really couldn't find a lot of information or a lot of people explaining why that shape existed, besides like, I don't know, someone made another shape. It works. So I didn't spend the extra money on that. I just went with the microlinear because, again, all these people on the internet tried to explain to me why the microlinear shape for the stylus was better. I didn't even know this kind of thing existed, Drew. I didn't have any idea. Yeah.
I am flabbergasted.
Oh, and there's even like if you go outside of like Audio Technica, there's even more different shapes and different constructions and stuff. Like it's bonkers all the way down. Like,
okay. So timeout. Now, which one did you get again? The microlinear.
Yes, yeah.
And obviously the Shibata is above that.
It's more expensive, at least.
Are just like with everything else in life, is there alternatives that aren't Audio Technica that are a little bit cheaper that would give you the same effect?
I haven't gone that far to find compatible like cartridges and stuff. That may be something I do later because eventually cartridges do wear out and you do have to replace them. So that may be something I do as this one kind of wears and see if there's, other manufacturers who sell things that are compatible with the head shell on this particular turntable. And so that's something I will do later. I just want to make sure that it's compatible and stuff. Oh, and then Drew, I haven't even talked about, man.
I love this, by the way.
Okay, so every time you basically like do something to your tone arm, you have to balance it. Okay, balance it. Okay, so what this if you look at a picture of like my turntable or like a lot of good turntables, on the back of the tone arm is this like little black and silver cylinder. Okay, that's essentially a weight, and it can move forward and backwards on the tone arm. So what you have to do, Drew, is you have to basically you have to kind of turn the tone arm to where the record would be without the record, okay? And then you have to start moving this weight until the tone arm is balanced. So it's like completely parallel with the base of the turntable, right? So like
balancing on its own.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a center of gravity.
Exactly, a center of gravity.
Okay.
It's balancing on its own, okay?
Okay.
So you do that, and that's level. So then you take it and you kind of move it back, and you move it back into its little resty place. Now, if you look really, really close at that picture, on the weight is this dial. Okay. So that dial kind of, it can, if you pull it forward, it kind of spins freely. So you have to pull it forward and reset that to 0. Okay. And then push it back. And then you have then every cartridge, every stylus has a recommended pressure, right? So this is how many grams past balanced it needs to put on the record to get a good sound.
Oh no.
Okay. So the cartridge will tell you how much force you need to put on there. So then you take it, so everything's calibrated, balanced at 0. You have to turn that weight. So in my case to 2. For both of those things, I need to have 2 grams of pressure. Turn it to 2. And then there's also a little dial on the side for like anti-skate. You also move, that basically helps the stylus from sliding. I don't know, it's witchcraft. You also turn that to the same number. And then that sets your tone arm up for the perfect balance. So it's putting just enough pressure on the record to make a good sound. So like every time you put like a new head cartridge in or put a new stylus, it has a different weight. So you have to reset everything, rebalance it, reset the weight. So it's not just, unscrewing it old one on and putting a new one in. It's balancing it. And it is I don't know, like the amount of pressure and like tension I felt trying to do this the 2 times I've done it is, it's just awful. Cause like if you do it wrong, then like your needle's gonna smack into the platter and that's bad. Like you have to be
right.
So your hand's just hovering right there to catch it in case something happens, but you don't actually want to touch it because you need to know if it's actually balanced or not. So like you get it close and then you're just turning that back weight ever so slightly. Yeah, it's So I've had to do that a couple of times so far. Once for the original cartridge and once for the upgraded one. But I got it done both times. It's just oh, it's nerve wracking. It's absolutely nerve wracking. Okay. After that, most of the stuff I bought is just either it's more static management, Drew, or just kind of preservation. Okay. A lot of records they come in like paper sleeves. Okay. Paper sleeves have two disadvantages. One, it doesn't help with static at all. So like the act of taking the vinyl out of the paper can actually generate static. And two, like paper just isn't like the best, like it can shed, like you can get little pieces of paper on the vinyl. It's not great for storing the vinyl for a long time. So a lot of people recommend basically getting anti-static sleeves and putting all your records in there. There's a couple of brands. There's like Mophie that really sells them, and Hudson again. People seem to love the Hudson anti-static sleeves. So I bought 100-pack of those and have all of my records in anti-static sleeves. Yeah, they're nice. They're just like it's like polyurethane, I think, and then there's like a piece of rice paper just for durability in there.
Does it smell bad?
No, it doesn't smell bad at all. No.
Because polyurethane stuff for me always has a smell.
I haven't noticed the smell at all. So those they're not. I mean, they're not like $25 for 100, right? And I can even get it like $80 for 500. So if I really go nuts, yeah, they're fine. They're fine. No complaints. No complaints. People also recommend like, hey, just to, the vinyl records come on, they come in sleeves. The sleeves have pretty artwork. They're nice. They're good to look at. And people would just say like, hey, if you want to keep your sleeves looking good, you can put an outer sleeve on the record as well. It doesn't help with static. It just helps protect the thing from scratches. So I bought 100 of those and put all of my records in these sleeves. But then today, Drew, I got some records in the mail today. And a couple of the records I got are gatefold.
What does that mean?
Okay, so basically what it means. So if you think about a typical record, right? Like it's this little paper pouch. It's got a slit on one side where the record comes in and out. Okay, a gatefold opens like a book. So these are albums that typically have two records in them. Okay. They open like a book, and essentially there's kind of like a record sleeve on each side, right? So a record goes into the left, a record goes into the right. And I get one of these and I look at my outer sleeves. I'm like, oh no, these aren't going to work because then I can't get the record out because I need to be able to open it up.
Yeah.
So, hey, luckily I'm not the first person to have realized this. So they also sell gatefold sleeves.
Yeah, so basically it's just one that's longer that you can put. Okay.
Yeah, so I got some of those. I don't have them yet. I think they're going to be coming like Monday or Tuesday. So I got those coming to get put. I don't have a lot of I haven't ordered a lot of gatefold. I think I'll have like 2 or 3 by the time's done, but I wanted to have them nice, so I ordered some gatefold sleeves, whatever. Yep. So the turntable came. So the platter is the part that spins, right? And usually on top of the platter, you put something on top of it before you put the record on. A lot of record players come with felt because it's very inexpensive and it's easy to manufacture and it's easy to store, it's easy to ship. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with a felt record. What do they call them? Slip mat. Mm-hmm. Especially like if you're going to be like a DJ, you want a felt slip mat, right? Like that's what you want. But again, the internet's like, well, you can do better than a slip mat. Some people say that the slip mat changes the quality of the sound. I don't know if I believe that. And people also say that the slip mat can affect how much static builds up. And a material that audiophiles, turntable people love is cork. A lot of people, like almost everybody says cork is the best material to use for a slip mat. So I found this guy on the internet. He goes by Taz Studios. He makes a bunch of like non-boring cork slip mat things with a bunch of designs on them. I picked one that had like a bitchin' ass skull on it because why not? uh, and I put that on there, and I haven't noticed a difference in static or sound.
But it looks cool.
It looks fucking cool, Drew. So that's what I'm.
So okay, point. Okay, so help me understand something here. 1 + 1 does not equal 2 here.
Okay.
So when I look at a picture of the record player, turntable that you bought, without this cork mat, the record would go right on where it says audio tech.
Yes.
But like you said, that's made out of
felt.
felt.
Made out of felt. Yeah, exactly.
Now, when you bought the cork piece, does it replace that or go on top of it?
It replaces it.
I was going to say, because you're adjusting the balance of the arm.
Exactly. Yep. Okay. Yep. You don't want it to be too high because you don't want the tone, like you want the stylus to hit it at a particular angle. And if it's kind of tilted back up, it's not going to vibrate as correctly. Yeah. So you don't want to stack these things. You want one. Though,
and they're like a universal height, like
no, not necessarily. The cork one is a little bit taller than the felt one, but a lot of people like, if it's just a little bit, you're going to be fine. You just like, you don't want it to be like double.
Right.
Yeah. Or like if you have an older record player and maybe your tone arm is a little bent, people actually recommend like stacking these so you get it to be the right height, for your tone arm. But generally speaking, you just want one. My cork slip mat replaced my felt slip mat, and it looks awesome. I'm gonna say it makes me happy. I go to get a record and I look at the skull. Even when I'm done, I turn it so like the skull is facing the right way. I don't know. It's just, it makes me happy, Drew. It makes me happy.
Sure.
If nothing else, the cork slip mat with the skull makes me happy. And the last thing I bought, of course, I needed a piece of furniture to put this on. I didn't want to spend a shit ton on it because I want it to look nice, but I really don't care. I'm not a super, I don't need super high, nice furniture, but I wanted something that, held the records and was big enough for the turntable and didn't look out of place in my office. So I bought this just generic record player stand from Amazon. It came today. I assembled it. It's nicer than I thought it was going to be. It's actually well constructed.
It actually looks like a nice little retro piece of furniture, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's just a square little cabinet thing. Holds 100 records or it says 150 records. I think that's bullshit. But it's got 4 little spots to put your records in. It's got a table, like a shelf above that. Like that's where I have like my phono amp and my cleaning supplies. And then the record player sits on top of it. It's at a good height. It was the right size for the spot in my office where it went. It's fine. It's perfectly serviceable. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the stand. It's just fine. It's fine. It's fine. In fact, it's better than I thought it was going to be. There's one last thing I want to say, and this is not something I bought, but this is a website I discovered, and it is wonderful. Okay, it is a site called Discogs. It's a horrible name. Discogs.com. And this site has multiple purposes. The first thing it does is it's a site for music collectors. So whether you're collecting cassettes, CDs, or vinyl, you can go through here. You can search for an artist, search for an album. You can see all the different releases about that. So you can see like all the different reprints and reissues. For vinyl, you can see all the different, like if there was a green or a silver or a black one, you can see all of those.
Blonde on Blonde by Bob Dylan. 1966.
Yep. You can add them to your collection. You can say, hey, these are the records I have. And then it also has a want list, of course. So these are the albums I want. And the other piece of it is if you are a seller of these items, you can put your collection in there, and you can sell vinyl and cassettes or whatever. And it's really nice as it goes through and I have my wish list, and for everything on there, it basically says like, hey, there are 2 for sale. There's 43 for sale. And you can click on that and you can see all the different places that are selling that particular item. And the feature that I like the most, so like say I'm looking at an album, for each seller, it'll say, hey, this seller has 2 more items in your wish list for sale as well. So then you can click on that and see everything they're selling, and then decide to make a purchase. Because a lot of these shippers are like, hey, if you buy more than $100, we'll ship it for free. You pay through Discogs, and I'm sure Discogs makes money because I'm sure they take a cut of, like the purchase, the selling, or maybe you pay. I don't know how it works. I'm sure they're either skimming some money off the top, or they charge people for listing the records. I don't know how they make money, but it's a free site, at least for consumers or for collectors. I'm really happy with it so far. It's I have like 23 items on my wish list right now. Just as I think of things, I put it in there. I've actually I ordered through. I found a company. What were they called? It's this record store in where was it? It was called Down in the Valley. They're at a record store in Minnesota that had like 4 albums I wanted. So I put an order through them, and I'm trying it, and they should be coming later this week. But like, if you get into this thing, I highly recommend Discogs just to keep track of everything. And apparently it's a good place to buy records from too. So, especially like the older stuff that you can't, like things that aren't new, the older, whether it's vintage or, just like, 10 years old or whatever. I have yet to put in an album that at least one person doesn't have for sale. Like, it's just that it's it's a good little community. And just the number of people selling records between individual people and like record stores or businesses that do this, like there's so many, it's ridiculous. Like, I can't believe it. Tons all over the country and the world, Drew, and the world.
So, okay. First of all, I can hear how excited you are about this stuff. And I think that's awesome, right? We're all here for the gear. We've talked about that before, and I'm happy that you found this stuff. Now, I just have a couple questions before we wrap, okay? Yeah. You obviously went into really great detail here talking about what you bought in the service of being able to have something to interface with a vinyl record.
Yes. Yep.
What I don't see on this list, and I'm curious, what is the actual sound coming out of?
So this is something I already had. Okay. I have, it was actually a gift from a friend. I have decent, they're not bookshelf. They're like, I don't know. They're pretty good size speakers in my office. I can't remember what brand they are. They're ELAC, ELAC brand. And I have an amplifier for them from it's an SMSL. That's the brand. And it's really like a DABS speaker amp. It's perfectly fine. Actually, well, Drew.
Okay. So the phono goes to that, and then to the amp, and then the amp goes to the speakers.
Yeah. Okay. But I don't want to get into this too much, but I also wanted to be able to listen to my. I also wanted to have the option of listening to my records through my headphones on my my DAC headphone amp. The speaker amp does not have a headphone jack. So I had
the speaker amp doesn't have a headphone, but so but your DAC probably has.
Okay, so the DAC has RCA in, but it does not pass that to the output. It only does that to the headphones.
Oh.
So I may get like an integrated amplifier that does both. Right now I have a complicated system of like splitters and stuff. I actually it's fine. Have you tried Freeform, the new Apple app on Mac and iOS. It allows you to do drawings.
No. No, are we about to do a free form?
No, well, I did one with basically say, okay, this is what I want to achieve, and this is what I have, and drew a picture and figured everything out. So I'm able to. I had a for something else I tried doing before, which kind of didn't end up working. I had it's from Shit Audio. It's called the Sys, and it's literally just a RCA splitter. Or RCA switch. So it does 2 inputs to 1 output. So between that and an RCA splitter, which is 1 input to 2 outputs, I can basically hit a button and either listen to my headphone, listen to my turntable on my speakers or my DAC amp. That may end up being replaced with one single thing. There's a whole like bunch of people make what they call integrated amps. A lot of times they also have it'll be a phono amp, a speaker amp, and like a headphone amp and a DAC all in one. They're a little bit bigger and longer, but I could replace a lot of stuff on my desk with one thing instead of like 3. So that may be something I do in the future. But for now, the setup I have is perfectly serviceable. It sounds good. I'm happy. But I had to sit and draw a picture to make sure I could figure everything out. And it's color coded, Drew. It's all very fancy.
Okay. So last question then. And this is kind of a 2-parter, right? I know we're well into this, and I'm sure people have are exhausted. But so tell me a little bit about like your listening experience. Like, do you just sort of like listen to it passively like you do other music, or is this something where because of the work that you put into this, like you want to sit down and just sort of like lean back in a chair and enjoy the music? Like how are you listening to this now?
So today, after I got my stand up, I listened to a couple of records, and that was like I pretty much only just listened to the record. I just kind of sat there and passively listened to it. You know, it was the first spin of a couple of these records. I just kind of sat there and enjoyed it, and it was nice. I do listen to music a lot at work. So what I'm trying to do is there's generally like a period of time in the morning or after I drop the kids off from school. I get back home, I eat my English muffin, and I sit down for work. And usually there's a good hour and a half period where people don't bug me because it's like I sit down like 7:30. A lot of people aren't even like working yet because we're all in IT, and a lot of people don't show up until they have to. So I have a period where I'm uninterrupted, and I have taken to listen to an album in the morning. I put it on. I do work as I'm listening to it, but I usually listen to music anyway. So I enjoy an album in the morning before I go to work. And and like today, the wife was out of the house, so I cranked it, and it was nice. Yeah.
You shouldn't say it like that. So last question then. How many albums do you own now?
How many albums do I own now? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, you know what? There's an easier way to do this. I could just look on Discogs.
You could, exactly.
Collection. I have. Why doesn't it show me a number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 albums right now.
9 albums.
And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more coming that I have purchased that are on.
How much is an album? What on average are you spending per album?
So between $20 and $30, I would say. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. They're a little bit more expensive. I think the most I have spent on one is hold on, let's see my purchase. Nope, that's not where I want to be. Down in the Valley New Order. Here we go. Yeah, I spent $50 on a copy of I Loved You at Your Darkest from Behemoth. But it's a 2 LP combination. They're 45s to the 33s. So People also like, it's generally accepted that, so most albums you get spin at 33 and a third revolutions per minute. There are also 45s. It is generally considered that 45s sound better than 33s, but you can't fit as much music on
right, because they spin faster.
Yep. So
science.
So a lot of times you'll see like, hey, you can buy a 33 for like $25, or you can buy a pair of 45s for like 50. And the 45s obviously sound better, but they're more, because there's more packaging and there's 2 records instead of just 1. So I'm going to give that a try. I think those will be my only 45s that I have when they come. But
and what's like your favorite thing to listen to so far? Like which album?
The one I've enjoyed the most so far has been Mirrors by the band Pupil Slicer. I love them. It's also really nice. The album is like this like reddish black translucent material. It looks absolutely stunning. But I listened to that today and it was fantastic. Great album. Love it. Wow. Good album. Love that. It's mathcore. It's weird. I love it. I love it so much. It's wonderful. It's loud, fast, and angry and weird.
So you're enjoying your new hobby then?
I am. It's nice to like own albums. I enjoy looking at the album art. I may get like a lot of people, they have like, like a now playing stand. So they put like a little piece of like wood on the wall with the slot, so you can take the album cover that you're listening to and put it up there so you can see what you're listening to.
That's screaming to be an IoT device. Yeah. So this is all cool stuff. Yep. This is all cool stuff, and it's very timely for me because there's a room in my house right now that I just haven't figured out what I want to do with it, and it's my basement, right? Because my office, like if you come to my basement, it's half finished, half not, and one corner of that is my office that has a door. But like outside my office door, like I could easily turn that into like a TV room or like a movie room or something, and it just hasn't been high on the priority list. Yeah. But I think it'd be cool to have like a record player in there, and have like, I don't know what albums I would buy because my music taste is so eclectic, but that's a nice way of saying weird. But I've sort of toyed with that idea, so maybe I'll start like putting together like a wish list of what I would need. But like everything that you just showed me here, I feel like I would want to buy because I would want to make it that good. But I lack sound producing equipment. Yes, I lack an amplifier, I lack speakers. So that's going to be a bigger investment to make it sound good.
Yes, exactly. That's something I already had. So yeah.
Okay. And that's why I asked about it, right? Because I want to get something that I don't need huge sound in that room, but I'm certainly not going to buy like $13,000 speakers or anything.
Yeah, that's
because I'm not going to hear the difference.
Exactly. Like the speakers that I have aren't that expensive, and like there are much better amps than what I have, but it's what I have is perfectly serviceable. I enjoy it. It's good. It's good. It sounds great. It sounds great. So I'm happy.
Well, cool, buddy. I think that this is very cool stuff. I'm intrigued. I kind of want to see it. I kind of want to see it.
Hold on. Let's see. Let's see. I took a picture and I sent it to somebody else. Hold on. I'll send you a live photo of course, Drew. The one mistake in this photo is the dust cover is down.
Oh no!
It should not be down when you're playing a record. As soon as I took the photo, I realized that and put it up. But yeah, you can see it there. And if you push and hold, you can see the turntable going around. Yeah.
What's the red light?
Okay, that's a good question, Drew. Okay, so there is a red light. Okay, or there's 2 lights on the turntable.
Can I guess? You can. So it's like an infrared electric eye that maintains the speed of the turntable?
Close.
Okay.
The light actually strobes. And you see the turntable has like that dot pattern.
Yes.
If the turntable is spinning and it looks like those dots in that red area aren't moving, your turntable is spinning at the correct speed. If it looks like those
Oh
circles
my
are
God,
like
you're
moving,
right.
something is wrong. Either you have too much weight or something is wrong with the drive, and you can look at it and see whether you're having a problem.
Well, in the live photo,
Mm-hmm.
that bottom row does look like it's moving to me.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But that might be the camera,
yeah,
right?
I think it's
the human eye.
Yes, yeah, I think the human. If you look at it, because that red light is pulsing, like it looks like it's spinning everywhere else, but if you look at that red spot, just because of the way it's flashing, it looks stationary. It's a really kind of weird effect. And there's another.
I can't tell in the photo that the red thing is pulsing.
Yeah. So that's what that is for. And there's also another light on the side that helps you line up the needle to where you need to drop it on the album, which is a nice little touch. So yeah,
that's very cool. Mm-hmm. That's a nice looking turntable.
Yeah, like there's ones that look better, but like this is one.
It looks.
This fine. Is the one like. This was on my list of turntables I was considering, and the fact that like Best Buy, I don't think they had it on display. I think they just had like 3 boxes in the back. And they had it, and I bought it, and it was like, yeah, I can be listening to music today, and I was, so it was great. Yeah,
very cool, man. Okay, I'm intrigued. Mm-hmm. I probably will have more questions for you, but we can do that offline. Yeah. But why don't we wrap up, because this has been chock full of good info here. Honestly, folks, like go look at the show notes for this one, because Paul has obviously done his homework. He's put together what I consider to be kind of essential parts and pieces for this. I think it's going to be a good guide for me should I decide to go this route. I probably will.
Yeah.
So go check out the show notes for this one. Yeah. But let's wrap this one up.
Yeah. Hey, we're on the internet, doingtheirbest.com. You can send us an email or something. We're not on Twitter or whatever. That's it. Hey, thanks for listening to the show, everybody.